we don't have anything else. So here comes Elder Bruce Dotson with his key Tavo message for this year. Welcome him.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, brother.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It has been a heavy week, and we're going to talk about it, I think, some, but also God is solid and steady, and He holds the course. So we're going to talk about Ki Tavo too, because that's part of the Torah reading cycle, and it's kind of amazing, and I shouldn't be amazed. The themes of darkness and light that you see in the three different readings for this week. So God knows what He's doing, and He's in charge. So, but yeah, this week is Ki Tavo, and Lois, gave a good explanation. It's talking about the curses and the blessings, the blessing of reading glasses. I don't think it's in there, but that are pronounced at Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal. And there's tremendous amount of detail about the blessings and then especially the curses. It goes on and on and on and on in a lot of detail. And the people are to agree to these terms. So at first glance you might read it as a warning shot, like God, I'm a parent. You're like, hey, you better not do that. You're going to get in big trouble. There is an element of that, but it's a lot deeper than that, that the people are agreeing to the terms of a covenant. And there's two parties in that. There's God and the people. So Deuteronomy 26:17. Today you have affirmed Adonai as your God. The complete Jewish Bible says you are agreeing today that Adonai is your God. So you're acknowledging Adonai as your God. That's the first step. The next step, that you will walk in His ways, keep His statutes, mitzvot, and ordinances, and listen to His voice. And there's been a lot of, again, Deuteronomy is a retelling in many ways of what we've already seen in the Torah. But if we go back a few parshas, Deuteronomy 11:26 and 28, see, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you listen to the mitzvot of Adonai your God, that I am commanding you today, but the curse, if you do not listen to the mitzvot of Adonai your God, but turn from the way I'm commanding you today to go after other gods you have not known. So there's a lot of parallels. You think about the narrow path versus the wide path. Deuteronomy 30, Moses implores the people to choose life, right? There's a path that leads to life, and there's a path that leads to death. Deuteronomy 13:19, I call the heavens and the earth to witness about you today, that I've set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore choose life so that you and your descendants may live. Yeshua also says that those who truly love Him will choose to keep His commandments, His commands. John 14:15, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. So, Ki Tavo, really, it places before Israel and really the world. It's a covenant with Israel, but you could say the principles apply to everyone, regardless. Blessings and curses. Blessings if they chose to keep the Lord's mitzvot, and curses if not. And again, it takes up a lot of space for the curses. I like to read about the blessings. That's good stuff, right? And it's interesting, it outlines the scattering and the dispersion and the suffering of the people. And we know that the Jewish people have suffered through 2,000 years of curses, exile. It's all part of it. It's not theoretical. It's been happening for a long time. But the thing that myself and many have missed is, yes, the people messed up. Yes, they suffered the consequences, but that did not undo God's covenant. And remember, there's two aspects to the covenant. There's the curses, yes. There's also the blessings. One did not cancel out the other, right? Both aspects of the covenant still stand. Just as he promised to scatter them, he also promised to regather them. And today there's still a lot of turmoil for the Jewish people. However, we all know there was a prophetic shift in 1948. The nation of Israel was reborn. And you could say, well, that was not a religious reason. They were Zionists, but not for because they were following after God and what have you. But the fact is that it was significant that the nation was reborn. And so it points to making a turn from the 2,000 years of exile and curses to what's next, God regathering his people and blessings to come. But it's not a microwave, right? It's probably not going to happen instantly. But yeah, the blessings of Tavo are still available to his people, and they're coming back into effect. He is regathering his people. So, again, those are promises for his people. What about the rest of the world? Well, even if you made the case that you didn't enter into that covenant, God's laws still have an effect. I use the same examples all the time. Gravity, you can't escape it. You can flap your arms, you can create something, you'll run out of fuel at some point. Gravity will do what gravity does. God's, I believe, laws of blessing and curse, it's a if-then. If you live a certain way, if you do certain things will happen. And one thing to remember, too, I think Aaron Eby's wife pointed this out in a Torah Club video, but this is not a prosperity gospel where you say, oh, you do these things and you get these blessings. Yes, it applies to us individually, but really it's for a nation, for a group of people. And because the fact is there are evil people that have plenty of money, right? And there are good people that are just terribly poor. And there are good, godly, righteous people that have terrible health. You can't use that as your basis for judging, oh, that guy must be righteous. That guy is not righteous. But, again, as a nation, as a people group, you can divide it however you want, Israel and the 70 nations, gravity applies. God's law applies, no matter what you do. So, again, there is a lot of heaviness in the news for a long time now, and none of us coordinated anything we're going to talk about. But yeah, church and school shootings, the Ukrainian girl stabbed in the neck on a train while no one wanted to get involved, no one bothered to help her. And of course, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And my goal is to not make this political whatsoever. I don't believe that it is political just because it happens to be involved with some politics to some degree does not make it political, or at least not what I want to say about it. You could say Charlie Kirk was assassinated for his politics and murdered for his faith, but does it really matter? I don't think there's much difference. A lot of people saw him primarily through the political lens, but his faith in Jesus was his driving force. Yeshua was folded into everything he did. The reason he did what you might classify as political was not for wealth and power and fame. He did it because he had the sincere faith in Yeshua that prompted him to try to stop a revolution, right? The wrong kind of revolution. Yeah, Yeshua was folded in everything you did. And I wasn't a close follower of Charlie Kirk, but I did learn some things this week. Did you know that he, apparently a good while back, he started keeping the Sabbath? Now remember, he's a Gentile believer. Of course, he hangs out with people like Ben Shapiro, Dennis Prager. I don't know if that is why he started doing, but he said, I saw in an interview, he said, when you keep the Sabbath, it helps you keep the other 9 commandments, right? So, right, what has the world been doing for a couple thousand years? Let's remove the Sabbath and try to keep the other 9. And Charlie Kirk said no, the Sabbath. So he turned off his phone Friday night. Didn't turn it back on until Saturday night. And that's pretty amazing. It's discouraging and encouraging at the same time. But again, I'm not trying to engage in politics. When you're a public figure, people write down everything you say, and so you can pull quotes from everywhere. But one thing he said sometime in the past is, this is Charlie Kirk, he said, you can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. And I think that's probably well, there's many stark things, but that is the biggest sort of shock value besides him being assassinated is people's reaction to it. Loads of comments celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk. And those have received a good bit of backlash, and they should. But what's kind of going under the radar, and maybe it's emerging a little bit more now, it's not getting near as much attention. There are many people have been awake by the horror of this. Not just the murder of Charlie Kirk, but the true evil of really what we have, or what's becoming a godless society and a godless world. But these comments, I pulled a few off of Twitter, now known as X. These are not from marginal Christians. They're not from someone that's backslid and said, boy, this is really disturbing. I'm going to get back to church. These comments are from people that, best I can tell, have no faith in God. One post, it's already up there. It says, I've never been a religious person because I don't know if God is real. But I'm becoming more religious every day because I know that evil is real. And I want to be on the other side of it. Another says, not going to lie, with everything going on, I'm feeling the pull to go to church and give my life to Jesus. The same person said, the older I get, the more I understand why people cling to Jesus and God. In a world where evil seems to grow louder every day, faith becomes a refuge. And someone responded to that comment, as a lifetime atheist, I'm considering the same, or at least giving it a really good go, and to learn more. Again, these are not, I don't know their background, obviously, but they're not believers. They're probably not raised in the church. So, I think anger is a natural response, and you can have righteous anger. And I certainly was angry and probably experienced plenty of not righteous anger as well. But yeah, it's tempting to just flat out be angry and lose hope about the state of our world right now. And what a lot of people want to do is they want to give it right back to the world, right? If the world's going to be hard, then I'm going to be hard. To fight fire with fire, basically. But I really think that can't be our reaction. I do think we're overdue in calling evil evil, right, and being too polite. And we should be seeking true justice and true mercy. We're reminded of Micah 6:8. Practice justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And darkness has been the theme a lot, again, in today's reading, but I don't think it's going to do us any good to answer darkness, the world, with more darkness from us, right? It may be not quite as dark, but, that anger and that rage, in a sense, is darkness. So are we going to ask people, like the people we just read their comments, are we going to ask them, come out of the darkness and come over to my darkness? I'm really harsh, and I'm really mean, and I'm really strict, but I don't really walk it out very well. We know, right? We're all hypocrites. We're hypocrites that are trying really hard, though, and I think that's to be admired, right? That we know that we need a Savior, and we keep trying to be better every day. But yeah, we can't ask people to go from darkness to a different darkness. We are to be the light of the world. And, the darker it is, the easier it is to see that light. It really stands out. A little light really stands out in a very dark place. Matthew 5:14 and 16, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket. Instead, they put it on a lampstand so that it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, so they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Because of our faith in Yeshua, we really do have exactly what the world's looking for, desperately looking for. They may not realize it, but in fact, they are looking for it. So let's not mess that up by taking, being so upset that we figuratively flip the bird right to the world and to the people. Sorry to be graphic, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You feel like, hey, I've earned it. I can be upset enough to do that. But we really shouldn't. It doesn't mean be weak, but it does mean shine the light. We need to be strong and vocal about our faith. We need to declare righteousness, and we need to call out unrighteousness. But we need to do it in a godly way. There's plenty of reason to have hope. Remember the story of Stephen being stoned to death for his faith? Who was there that approved and maybe smiled about it? And who held the coats for the men that were stoning Stephen? Yeah. Paul, or Saul, was a very real enemy of the faith. It wasn't theoretical. People died because of Paul. People probably were tortured because of Paul. People had their lives ruined because of Paul before faith, right? Of course, Paul would go on to spread the gospel message throughout the world. So the question is, how many godless radicals are about to now become radicals for Yeshua, right? I do believe it's already happening. You can watch it online, and don't ruin yourself by spending too much time there. But people that don't look right, that are from a different political view or just a moral view, are waking up. They're saying, this is shocking. This is wrong. This is not the right way to live. And I don't think, though, it's going to be just a few dynamic people, sort of Pauline-type figures. There's plenty of evidence that there's a groundswell of younger people who are taking their faith in Yeshua seriously. And that was a lot about what Charlie Kirk was about. It was about college-age kids, high school-age kids, and he really spoke to people. But again, young people taking their faith seriously, and they kind of need to, because you can't really, less and less you could be a casual believer in Yeshua. The world is dark. You can't sort of blend in very well anymore, and I think it's going to become more the case. So these younger people aren't necessarily casual believers. I had to look this up, but if you were born between 1996 and 2013, what generation does that make you? Gen Z, if I got my facts right. Something interesting, Gen Z men have not completely, but strongly and notably shifted towards a more conservative point of view. Again, I'm not trying to make it political, but let's just imagine a more stable family, get married, have kids, have a job, go to church point of view. I mean, kids are rebellious, right? That just is a given. Not Gen Z as a whole are moving away from that, and I really do believe, because the dark is so obviously dark, that they're rejecting the dark. And if you're rejecting the dark, what's your other option? There's light. And who is the light of the world? It's Yeshua. By the way, all my kids are Gen Z, Baruch Hashem. Naomi just barely made it. There's godly people in every generation, so you guys would have been fine either way. But again, I'm not delving into politics. I'm really not. But no political system, no constitution, no worldview, no matter how well you craft the documents and the rules, it doesn't work with a people that don't acknowledge and follow God. It just doesn't work. You can make all the rules up you want. If you don't follow after God, it's not going to work. So the politics will fix themselves when we make teshuvah personally and we help other people do the same. And I think God is going to help us do that. It's not all on your shoulders, but some of it is. Some of it's on mine, some of it's on yours. But mostly on God. So again, still today, the choice of blessings or curses lie before us. But our God is faithful, and we are going to see him high and lifted up. His still small voice is speaking to billions of people right now today. He didn't forget anyone. He's not unorganized. He didn't lose track of anyone. All day, every day, his still small voice is calling people to him. And I believe that he's able to do that, and he wants to do that. So, yes, it's been a terrible week, but our God is well able to deal with it, to take care of it, and to turn it to good. And I think that that's what we're looking at. It's going to turn to good. I didn't know how to close, so I saw at the end of Hebrews a blessing. That's Hebrews 13, 20 and 21. And I'll say this as a prayer over ourselves. Now may the God of Shalom, who brought up from the dead the great shepherd of the sheep by the blood of an everlasting covenant, our Lord Yeshua, make you complete in every good thing to do his will, accomplishing in us what is pleasing in his sight through Messiah Yeshua. To him be the glory forever and ever. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, guys. Thank you, brother.
Good job, brother.